Do you wish somebody wrote down the recipe for your parenting challenges? Did you want tips and tricks to become a better mama for you and your babies? I know I do. If you're a mother who feels that you are doing the best you can with the hands you've been dealt, but you're still getting it done, then this podcast is for you. I'm so glad you tuned in to Nailed It Motherhood because we might have the recipe that nobody wrote down. What's up, everybody? You're listening to Nailed It Motherhood Podcast, and I'm your host with the most, Tamara Eldridge. Listeners, I want to thank you all for being so supportive and checking me out bi-weekly on every episode that I'm putting out. I have several amazing guests, and it's no different today. But I do want to remind you that I have a website. It is naileditmotherhood.com, and you can subscribe to my website so that you can be updated with new episodes and any exciting things that might be coming down the line soon. So make sure you go to www.naileditmotherhood.com, subscribe, invite other people to be guests, etc., etc., etc. Now, I'm thrilled today, but before I go into our guest, I do need to tell you that being a mom is hard. Did you know that, listeners? It's super hard, especially when you have to keep parenting through the grief of losing a loved one, especially when your loved one is your sister. Today, we are going to talk about being a parent. Being someone who lost a sister and being someone who inherited her sister's babies, all while crushing her role as a mom, a pastor, and an educator, and still having to handle all of the wrenches that life threw in her personal life. And she's smiling right now and behaving on sound, but baby, when I tell you... Now, I'm pretty pumped to have my fellow youth leader, not a youth leader anymore, but that's how I met her. She is in the place with me today. I knew I liked her when the first real encounter I had with her was hashtag winning the volleyball tournament at the women's retreat. She is my kind of competitor, and for that, we will forever be bonded, baby. Without further ado, like they say on the pulpit, allow me to introduce you to Mrs. Lardina Coles.
I am so excited. Hello, everybody. Like, what an awesome introduction. I'm blushing because you said crushing it. Like, what?
Yes, baby. You are. And I know the thing is, most moms are like, what? What do you mean I'm crushing it? Me? I have the recipe? Yes. I asked you to be on the show because you are killing the game. I'm telling you. I can't wait to be, well, I don't want to be in your shoes, but I can't wait to be at the place where I push 4 people out my door. You know what I'm saying? Okay, just one. I'm not dating anymore.
I'm stoked. I'm really stoked to be here. I'm excited for the invitation. I'm excited for what we're about to talk about. I'm just excited because I'm gonna nail it.
Yeah. I like that. You make me sound like I'm doing big things over here.
You are doing big things. And I want to be a part of every big thing you do. Like, I'm here to support 100%. I'm so proud of you. I really am.
Thank you. Okay, this is not the time. I'm not trying to be all emotional and mushy over here, okay? I'm trying to push you forward, all right? But
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. I mean, don't apologize. I mean, encourage me. But no, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I hope and I know we're going big places. So yes, come on, jump on my team with me, please. Speaking of jumping, though, we're going to jump right into your bio because it says so much about how our listeners can stay in touch with you. They can learn about what you're doing and who you are. So we're going to jump into that. and then we're going to move forward with the show. So,
all right, I'm ready. Let's go.
do it.
Let's do it.
Lardina Coles is a pastor at Relationship Matters Ministries in Bridgeport, Pennsylvania, where she leads alongside her husband, Steffon Coles. Also, she teaches math and English to emotional support students at the local high school. In addition, Lardina is the owner of The Empowered Woman, where you can find her passion in helping women heal from hurt. She is also a writer and a blogger, baby. Her passion for writing about the things closest to her heart has a proven track record of allowing others to see Jesus in his own personal life. In addition to her blogs, Lardina has authored a book called Relationship Matters, Wanting to Be Alone After Hurt. Her commitment to helping others has led her down a path of owning a nonprofit called Allison's Treasure Box. Her most proud accomplishment is her family, where she has raised her children and nieces alongside her husband of 18 years. Lardina is known for saying, "My family is my heart," and you can believe her by all the capturing moments she has with them. Lardina loves to read, write, and watch TV with her dog. But of course, who else? When she is not busy with the hustle and bustle of business ownership and teaching, you can find her relaxing at home with coffee in hand, enjoying a good Hallmark Channel movie, spending time with her family, and or shopping. Girlfriend, when do you sleep?
Wait, I wasn't ready. I sleep, and I sleep very well.
I bet you do. Like once every 5 days? Is that about right?
That's about right. But this new year, I'm doing 3 days now, so I'm getting better.
We're trying to get more hours in this year.
Right. Got to.
It's like every night I take a power nap of about 30 minutes and then. But so I am going to share a Tavi tale, which I think will fit right in with your big old heart. So a Tavi tale I give to all the listeners because my child is a character and truly deserves her own podcast. And I promise you, when she's about 7, she probably will be asking for one. But so driving home and visiting Bay, who lives about an hour away, we always end up passing people who are begging for money. And Tavia, being the very, very curious child she is with a huge heart, is always curious as to what are they doing in the street, mommy? And I explained to her just one time, well, baby, they're asking for money. Well, why are they asking for money? And I was like, because they're homeless and they, like, if you look at the sign, it'll tell you I'm a veteran or just having a really hard time, just need food to eat or something. And her first question is, well, why don't they go to work? And my response I had to think about before I said it out loud was, sometimes it's not as easy to get a job and go to work as it is for everybody else. Mm-hmm. And she was like, so what is it that they need? I was like, they're asking for money. We'll give them some money. I don't have any cash on me right now. Well, why not? Because I don't carry cash. I have money. You don't have any cash on them right now. And she was like, I have money in my bank at home that doesn't work, so we can't pull it out. But that is very thoughtful of you. I guess next time I'm going to have some cash. Well, next time came around and she wanted to know, where's my money? Mommy, where is your money? You can give that man some money. He's asking for money. I don't have any cash right now. Well, mommy, you need to have cash. So my child clearly is a giver, whether it's my
Yes.
money or hers.
Right.
So that's exciting to see that she has such a big heart and really is concerned about the people that are outside holding the signs. But um, I needs my money, but also I do need to do better. And the last time, because it wasn't the first or the second time, but the last time she basically convicted me, and now I carry a couple dollars in the car because, girl, all right, you give them the money. That's where I am. So thank you for listening to my Tavi tale. I appreciate it. I kind of had a feeling that you might enjoy that story just because one, we work with kids all the time, and two, you are a huge giver and doing all kinds of things, including Allison's treasure box, which you are. Can you explain that real quick? What is Allison's treasure
Yes.
box?
Allison's treasure box birthed out of our season of grief. I lost my sister. My niece's last name is Allison. So what happened was, and I'm getting a little bit into the story. After my sister died, our very first Christmas was very hard. It was excruciating. It was very hard, and people around the community, their school, they gave us Christmas trees, they gave us presents, they gave us Wawa gift cards, gas money. We had so much outpouring from people that actually cared for the girls, and these were complete strangers. I might add that. So I was sitting at my desk one day, and it was probably the summer after our first Christmas, and I said, I want to give back. I want to give families or give children the same positive experience that we have felt with the outpouring of other people. So that's how Allison's treasure box was birthed. So Christmas time, what we do is we take displaced children who doesn't have a mother or father due to a death and are being raised by other family members. And what we do is we make sure that their Christmas is fulfilling and just as bright as ours was. So that's our way of giving back from the loss that we had. So people gave to us, so we gave back. And this was we're operating probably I think this Christmas was our 5th year, and we have given toys and meals to over 200 children.
Wow,
So we're rocking it. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
It's exciting.
That is exciting, and I feel like that's a healthy way to handle grief. And with that being said, wow, just that's an amazing ministry. I'm sure you'll bring it up again, but now that I've shared my Tavi tale and you have given us an amazing insight into what one of your organizations is, I'm going to give you the floor so that you can share your personal parenting journey. And girl, take your time. Tell us all about who you are and what you stand for.
All right. Well, I'm going to take my time, I guess. So, I'm me. I'm here. I'm existing. I'm loving life. Parenting. I've been parenting for so many years. What can I say about that? I've been parenting for so many years. But to stay on task and the topic about my nieces, I had 4 children that my husband and I were raising. We have 2 boys and 2 girls. The boys are the oldest and the girls are the youngest. Typical family, huh? So we were raising our kids. We were doing what we were doing, and my sister got sick. So several years, I would say about 1 or 2 years before she was diagnosed, she was dealing with some issues of muscles or some dizziness and stuff. So she went to the emergency room one day and ended up going to the doctor, and they diagnosed her with MS. So she was diagnosed with MS at a very young age, which was very shocking to us because she was in her 20s. And she was diagnosed just after she had her second baby. So there was that. So a few years later, she ended up losing her battle. My mom had died 3 months prior to that. So I was already in grief, missing my mom, dealing with this. And I get a phone call one morning. At the time I was driving Lyft for Uber, one of those people. And I was downtown, about to pick up a passenger when I got the phone call. And it's funny because when my brother called me, as soon as I looked at the ID, I knew it was him. And because of the timing, I knew it was death. I just knew. So I picked up the phone and I instantly just asked him, I said, who is it now? Then he told me it was my sister, Zena. So, the tears were flowing and I just sat in the car for about a good hour, canceled all the rides and everything. So, I just sat in the car for about a good hour. I had to get myself together. I grieved in the car and I eventually got myself home. Excuse me. I didn't go home. I went to her house. So I went to her house to where I met my brother and my other sister met me there. And I went upstairs in her room. And sure enough, when I touched her body, she was cold. And she had already started to get hard. So she had died in her sleep the night before. And she went to sleep and just never woke back up. And the sad thing about it is my older niece was getting ready for school. And he went in her room and she found her mother dead. So by the time I got there, my brother had already sent the girls to school. Not sure why, but he did. He sent the girls to school. So we were, called her the coroner office and everything, called the police department. And they took her body out, which was another horrific sight. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. It was just horrific. My look at white sheets will never be the same. And, I'm laughing about it now, but man, don't give me white sheets. I'm cool. So, we sat in the living room and I just knew. I said, I have to take care of my nieces. It wasn't so much as a, battle for me or anything. I just knew that it was my job to take care of them. And so I handled, I took the girls, we, packed their stuff up and they moved into our house for the weekend. To get things settled, we had to, finagle some things. So that was that. I mean, it was a long, drawn out process of custody battle, shenanigans with family members. So it was a lot that we had to go through. But my main goal, for one, was keeping the girls safe and making sure they were stable. I did not want them bounced around. And a lot of people didn't agree with it. And at the time, I didn't really care. But I sort of I cut off my house. We were in a secret, private time. When my sister died, my one niece was 6. The other one was 12. So they were very young. The baby didn't understand a lot, but she knew mommy was gone, but I needed her to have that time to grieve. And, so much for the 12-year-old as well, where she was the oldest, she was the one that found her mom. She was the one that had to deal with a lot of stuff brought on. So the task of raising them, for one, when I said yes to the call, talked to my husband, I was not prepared. And I tell anybody this, I just simply was not prepared for the totality of it all. The range of emotions, the stress of the finances, the grieving process within myself. It was a lot. It was a lot. My house was big enough to cover them, but I call them my girls now. So my girls, they had nothing. They literally had nothing. So it was literally starting from ground zero. I had girls, but my girls were older. So, we had to finagle some things, and God worked it out. He really did. But I was not prepared for the financial strain, and I was not prepared for the emotions. So we literally had to isolate ourselves for private time, because people do the most. People do the absolute most when someone's dead. And I don't even know why. Like, people come out the woodwork, people say things, people are judgmental of things, it's just so much. So I had to deal with the bulk of that, as well as dealing with these girls' emotions. One child was completely smothered, like she suppressed everything, whereas the other one, she was faced with challenges as far as learning just different other things. So I think one of my things that if anybody get out of this story is that the importance of staying connected with God and staying connected as a family is very important, because if it wasn't for my husband and for my older children, my other children, stepping up, I don't know where we would be. I honestly don't know. We had to learn to fight together. We struggled together. We fought each other. At times there were arguments and different things, but it was a lot. It was a lot. And one of the hardest things that I had to do was get these girls counseling and then get them to heal. And that was so challenging, because their process of healing was also contingent on my healing. How much healing was I willing and able to do in order to be a sufficient aunt and mother figure to them? And it wasn't always easy. It just wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Anybody that takes on somebody else's children, I commend them. I commend them 100%, because it's not an easy job. And I know sometimes when people looked at us and probably thought it was easy, or I was still having to get up to teach the word of God or go to church and sit on the front row and smile, when deep down inside I had suicidal thoughts or depression or loneliness, or I was extremely tired, or we had to still, save face to people when we were financially struggling. Like we almost lost our house because the finances was just that, terrible. Like, we went from our children were branching out into their own. Like I said, our boys were the oldest, so they were already out of the house. And then we had the other girls who were migrating, but my baby girl was 16. I was ready to live. I remember thinking that thought, that after my mom had passed and I got all that away and I began to regain a little bit of strength, I thought to myself, I want to live. And I had mapped out that me and my 16-year-old and my husband, we were going to travel around the world. We were going to do things together. And I really wanted to embrace my 16-year-old, because she was the baby. She was the last one. And Lord and behold, just as I put that thought and started putting things in place, my whole life was shifted, because I had two girls who abruptly lost their mom and had nothing. Like, they had nothing. And when I say nothing, we had to start from ground zero. The girls had what they packed in a book bag. That's all they possessed. They had no clothes, no beds, no blankets, no toiletries. I had to buy everything ground zero. So the toll that it took on me was something that I have never experienced in my life. I didn't think the depth of grief and depression can be that low. that sadness can be your every waking moment. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. I had to fight. And, lots of prayer, lots of venting, lots of kicking tires. I will go outside, kick my car tire because there was nothing else to kick. But, you just kick and you scream and you just ask God, why? Why me? Why this? I didn't sign up for all this. I signed up for some stuff, but all this, like, this is rough. So 6 years later, I wouldn't trade anything that I went through for the world. These girls are my heart and my soul. They call me Lardina. We celebrate Mother's Day together. We hang out together. They seek motherly advice from me. I never wanted to take the place of their mom, but I feel like they have placed me in the position of mom, and I don't ever want to mess that up. That's something I value very, very much. I don't think they understood until recently when I told my oldest niece that despite all that I went through, I really believe that God sent them to me to save me, because I learned how to parent different. I learned how to talk rather than yell and scream. We made meals together. I learned to slow down and talk to them and just do things differently. I learned how to, from the mistakes that I made from my other four, I learned how to get it right with them. And I'm not saying that I don't make mistakes or I haven't messed up or anything, but with them, I've learned that they were my opportunity to get it right. And I felt as though that God blessed me so much tremendously with them. To, like I said, things that I never thought they were accomplished. My oldest niece is at Cheyney University, crushing her first year. She's crushing it. And this is the girl, she, because my sister was sick, she was missing 30, 40 days of school. So she had to learn how to be a child. When she came to us, she was used to being a caregiver because my sister was sickly. So she had to relearn how to be a child, and to see her go to high school and make friends and begin to be extroverted because she was so introverted. It was just not normal. It was not normal. But to see her blossom into a beautiful Black woman is ridiculously crazy. Like I just look at her all the time, and we call her my chocolate drop. She's called the chocolate drop because she's so god awful beautiful, and her skin is flawless. I get so jealous over her skin because I'm like, girl, I'm struggling, and you got the flawless skin. Like one pimple that I can recall in her life. One pimple. Wow. Me? No, you can cross-reference my face and
me too, boo. Like,
oh my God. It's ridiculous. Like if I get smacked with something, my face will break out. Hers, flawless. I'm so jealous. But don't tell her that. And then I got my youngest, right? I'm going to tell her not to listen to that part of the podcast.
Don't listen to that part. It's 29 minutes in, okay?
Right. So skip over that because, her head will start getting big, and then she wants to tell me her skin regimen. I'm cool. I'm too old for that. I got my own.
But can I get it, though?
Right.
Because I
would tell her. Her regimen is not even that profound. It's just so simple. It's like she just gets on my nerves. It's so simple. Like, that's it. And then I got my baby niece. She's very gifted. She's very, very smart. Very smart. Very smart. Like, oh my God, she's very smart. Very gifted. She's about to enter in high school in the fall. And I'm excited for her. She's, gearing up for some weighted honor classes. So, she came to me all busted up and disgusted, and we just put books in her hands. I remember sitting at the table, and I asked her, could she spell horse? And she could not spell horse. And I was like, nope, that's it. So we just gave her books. We took the time with her. We taught her. And man, Man, she's beautiful. So that's it. That's all I got to say. But it
Wow.
was hard. That was the roughest. I'm gonna say the 3 years after my sister's death was the hardest. That first year, I didn't think I was gonna make it. I really didn't. And then that's where we got the outpouring of other people helping us. And, I didn't even have gas money to get these girls back and forth to school because I wanted them to have stability. So I kept them in the same school district, and we had permission to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And the teachers made sure they got back and forth to school. They had coffee.
Wow.
They gave me coffee and and gas. And I was like, this is beautiful. And we wanted to return the favor. We really did. So I know it's a lot. And I still didn't give you all of it because you only gave me a few minutes. It's a lot.
Take your time, but dang. No. Oh my gosh. We'll come back and let you wrap up the rest of your journey, but you almost had me over here crying. And I'm a thug. So it's hard. It's hard for me but wow. Your story is beautiful. I know it was hard because I have one child and it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like I finally feel like I finally am making the salary that I should have been making years ago. And though I'm seeing double what I was making 3-4 years ago, it's still not enough. And I just have one. So to add 2 more to the 4 plus 2 adults, that's a family of 8 now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in awe. Of, I had questions. I was writing them down, but as I was writing them down, you were answering them. So I was like, okay, not that question. Thank you for answering that already. Wow. I'm going to say thank you because there are babies out there that get thrown to the wayside because there isn't a family member that is going to step up and say, no, they're coming with me. I guess I have 2 questions, and then I'm going to ask you to go ahead and finish your the rest of your journey. Because you have a lot, like you work in a school and you're working with emotional support students and you have 4 babies and they're all out the house right now. So you were already, like you said, you were done.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So my first question, how hard was it to shift your parenting style after having raised 4 kids that basically you were raising them in neutral now because you didn't already done what you done? And they know what to expect from you. They know when you look at them a certain way, I better stop that. If you were to say, what am I thinking? They could probably tell you because y'all had already had that chemistry in your parenting child relationship. So how did you make that shift?
To be honest, I don't know. I just kept praying. That's all I knew to do. Because when I got the girls, I immediately knew after a few weeks, I said, you know your nieces, but you don't know your nieces. And I did not know my nieces. So I had to take time to know them. And it was very challenging. It was very frustrating. I cried many of tears because I did not know how to relate to them because one child was so guarded. So, she would literally, and we laugh now, but she would literally look you in the face. You would ask her a question and you'll be eye contact and ask the question and she will blink back and not utter a word. And you like, dude. So my 4 kids knew you can't do that to me because your jaw would get checked. But with her, I couldn't check her jaw because I'm learning how to be a different parent. Everything doesn't require the laying of hands. So I had to learn patience.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to get her to trust. So it was a process. It was a process. And then I had to I had to understand in my thinking that their thinking is different from my thinking. And I had to understand where they were coming from and how my sister would parent. So I had to communicate my thoughts, which is what I wasn't used to doing. These are the things that I had to change and shift from my other kids because I had them since birth. It just is. So I had to shift my thinking, and I had to learn to be more patient, more understanding, and then I had to communicate. And I literally had to communicate from ground zero. So I had to communicate my needs, my wants, I had to ask probing questions, because if I just asked an open-ended question, it would just be yes or no. It would be no explanation. So I had to learn to say, why do you feel this way? What about my tone didn't you like? Why are you scared of this? Why that? I had to give them questions that caused them a thought process to get them to relay that. And that was hard. And I have to say, my husband was better with patience and understanding than I was. So I had to learn some things from him. And then eventually what I ended up doing is I went to counseling for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I went to grief counseling, and then I went to, after it went from the grief, then it went to me going from the changing, because what I didn't realize was my sister's death was traumatic for me. It was, unexpected. And then all of a sudden I had these two girls. So I had to work through my trauma. Right. And that what got me to understand that, I'm guarded and I'm this and I'm that. So I didn't want to appear to them as this robot. I needed to show them flesh, because that was what they were used to. And then I had to show them, one of the key things is that I had to show them love. And love came from, not from me saying, I love you. My way of showing them that I love them and that they were able to trust me was doing things differently than what they were experiencing with their mother. So I had to make sure dinner was cooked. I had to make sure they were clean. I had to make sure we did not move. Like, as much as the house was too small, I had to finagle stuff. I had to keep them in the same school district. Stability was so important for me in order for them to have that ability to trust me and my husband, and the ability to show them that we actually cared for them. So I had to take the time and go shopping with them and, do things, that normal moms would do. But I had to heighten it, if that makes sense. Like, I had to not overdo it, but I had to make sure it was done consistently until they were able to say, oh, she's not going anywhere. This is love. I'm in a clean home. I'm in a stable home. She cut out all the riffraff and all this type of stuff. So where, I had to make sure that they felt safe. And once I did that, then the shift began to take place. And it took about a year or two, because I remember talking to my husband, was like, oh my God, I didn't understand how long is this process going to take, because I was impatient. Like, oh my gosh, like, this is ridiculous. Like, when are they going to get it? When are they going to do this? When are they going to do that? And they eventually, 6 years later, we're still working some things out, but we're in a so much better place to where my nieces know they can come to talk to me about any and everything. I try to make sure that I'm that open door for them, or that safe place for them. Or, I always tell them, you have to advocate for yourself. I don't know what you're feeling. I'm not a mind reader. You have to tell me these things. So, they're learning how to advocate for themselves and different other things. So that's what the shift for me is. I literally had to put the work in and be conscious of what I was doing and why I was doing it. Because I couldn't raise them the way I raised my kids. I just couldn't. So,
Well, yeah, because they're not your kids. So, yeah. And that came out harsh, but you know what I mean. They're completely different. Yeah, different.
It's the reality. And I don't think it doesn't come off as harsh to me because I know. It may come off harsh to other people who don't know. But unless you walk in somebody's shoes where you have taken on somebody else's child, then you can't say that it's harsh. Like, because it is what it is. Even the love is different. Like, I don't think people understand that I had to love something that I did not conceive, that I did not birth. And is a whole aspect of love. I love them based on an auntie's love. Right. But now I can say I love them as a mother's love because my love for them had to grow.
Right. Because you're rearing them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. People don't understand that. And then I wish sometimes, with this world, people are so judgmental of things. Just sometimes you just need to shut up and just hear a person out and understand where they're coming from. But people don't want to do that. You get this microwave snippet scene on a Facebook and everybody wants to comment. Like, just shut up. You don't have to comment on everything. You don't know what this person is going through or why they said what they had to say. So you're saying that it doesn't offend me at all because it's the absolute truth. And anybody else that you would talk to, I'm pretty sure they will say the same thing if they were bold enough to say it. I'm just bold enough to say it. Like the love, I had to grow to love my nieces in the capacity of the way that I love them now. Because did I always love them? To be honest, when I first got them, it was very challenging. I didn't know. I didn't know how to love them. They weren't mine. They were my nieces that I, saw them on occasions because of my sister.
Right. Right.
So,
you kind of answered my next question, which was splitting the dichotomy of being auntie versus I'm now your parent. Like, are you still able to separate the two if you need to? Like, let me talk to you about your mom and let's talk about such and such. Like, this is auntie role versus I need you to do this. I need you to do this. These are your responsibilities. And I'm going to, once you give me this, I can reciprocate and make sure that I'm giving you the best that I can as a parent. Is that hard to split? Or do you split it?
That's a good question. I think there are moments where you don't split it. It just comes natural. But I think at other aspects, and I'm going to say it like this, when it comes to dealing with legal aspects of stuff, then I completely understand my place. I'm aunt. When I have to legally do stuff for them, I'm not a parent. I just have custody papers of them. You know what I mean? I have guardianship. So there's a difference. The legal part of it will remind you every day that you're the aunt. But when the girls are here with me, I feel like I'm their mom. I think they embrace me as mom. We have our rules, our boundaries. They get grounded. Which, oh my God, when they first got in trouble, it was like, who are you and why are you grounded? My oldest niece, I remember, cried profusely when I first grounded her. I mean, profusely. She did not understand that my love was also in my discipline. And she thought that coming down and apologizing was going to change stuff. And I said, no, I love you. You're still grounded. And I lied to you not. That key role. And I think one of the things was that I grounded her. And this is a universal rule in the house. If you have an F, if you come in the house with an F, you're grounded to the next semester. Point blank, period. Because a F in our house means you did not try. Now, if you'd have brought me at all. So if you would have brought me a D, I could work with you with the D. Because somewhere, somehow, you're struggling somewhere and I can advocate for you. But an F, there's no advocation. So when she came up and she had this F, and she was proud of this F too. I will never forget the look on her face. She was proud. I got an F, I'm going to do better next time. I said, you're darn right, because you're grounded to next semester. And I said, give me your phone. And let me tell you the tears that came. I said, thank you. And I held my ground. Let me tell you, she has never, since that day, brought another F in the house.
I bet she learned her lesson.
She learned her lesson.
You don't have anything to do but learn. Go ahead and open a book. Go ahead. Write a paper. Do it. I dare you to.
She can write a paper now. Like she in college now. She be like, Lardina, can you help me? I surely can. She be trying to advocate herself.
I value that. That is good parenting. When you have a consequence, because you should never bring me an F. Are you going to class?
Right.
Are you asking questions? Then why do you have an F? I'm sorry. Right. Excuse me? And two, because you stood your ground, which parenting today, I told several guests, I'm challenged because I'm in the middle of this. We give them a voice. They can tell us what they want. No, they can't. We can talk about it now in 2023, but back in 1989, my voice was shut it up.
Yes.
So standing your ground means a lot because it still puts leverage in the relationship. Like I've been there, done that. I actually did it 4 times before you. So I know what I'm doing.
Right.
So sorry. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all of that. You're getting thrown everything on top of being a mom, which we already are dealing with everything. Like as a mom who works, we got to raise the kids. We got to get to work on time. We have to make sure that we're working our full shifts. And when our kids are sick, we're called home to go pick them up, or the district doesn't have school, but I work for the district, but I still have to work. Like this is like we're already carrying a very heavy load of everything, being everything for everybody. So you were thrown the wrench of, now I'm picking up 2 more. I'm also trying to navigate through the grief of my mom. Plus, I haven't even dealt with the grief of my sister because I automatically took on the responsibility. Plus, now finances are in my way. Now trying to build relationships are in my way. Now I still have to keep a relationship with my husband. I'm also I'm also pastoring a church. Like, wow. Like, I know your back is strong at this point.
Are you sure about that?
Ironic, because you heard it, but that's probably why I got hurt so fast.
Oh my God.
I did not do that on purpose, I promise. But, just so you all know, listeners, I can be pretty darn funny. So, no, I'm just in awe. I'm in awe, and the story that you are living is very touching and very inspiring. And I pray that we have more family members that are willing to step up like you did. Although it might be hard, I believe that the consistency of knowing who you're being raised by is crucial. And I believe that it helped their healing process. And so for that, kudos to you and Steph, because that's a big task. And you could have said no, but you chose not to. You chose to let them live. So thank you. All right. So we are going to move on to tea time, which is a game of rapid fire. I've come up with a bunch of questions. Some of them are deep. Some of them are just for fun. Now, Lardina was privy to the questions only a couple days before we recorded, but as always, She will not know which questions are being selected. And listeners, just so you all know, full transparency, Lardina did try to get me to just read the questions because I guess she
Yo, you don't throw me into the bus like
yeah, she's thrown under the bus. But I'm going to pull you back out because we're going to play this game.
Okay, cool. I'm ready. Whew,
Yes.
I'm ready.
So she will have 3 minutes.
I taught myself being prepared, and she was like, "Nope." You know the
Not
questions are
today.
random, right?
Yeah.
Brother.
3 minutes to answer as many random questions as she can and give us just a little insight, a little more insight into who she is. Listeners, are you ready? Yeah. Dina, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go. I got my strong voice on. I'm ready.
Let's do it. And here we
Okay,
go.
let's go.
First question. How do you want to be remembered?
Oh my gosh. Funny and loving. There we go.
Manny's or Petty's or a happy hour? I'm sorry, Manny's and Petty's or a happy hour with the girls?
Mannies and pennies.
What emoji do you use the most?
Oh goodness. I think I used the heart one and probably the laughing one. Oh goodness.
That's all good.
Yeah, the heart. Yeah, because I'm thinking the heart one because I'm always sending love to the kids, to the hubby.
Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert. Yes. That's an easy question.
Is the glass half full or half empty? That's an easy question.
Half full. It is half full.
What's the most unexpected compliment you have received?
Oh, bruh. Oh my God. I got nothing. I'm smart. There we go. I just threw that out there.
Okay.
You
You don't get a prize, but it's fine.
Okay.
If you could
I'd have lost my prize on that one.
if you could talk to anyone from your past, who would it be?
Oh, from my past, dead or alive, or
Either
alive?
or.
Okay, we'll have to be alive. I don't do that dead stuff. So I would talk to. Oh God. Past? Alive?
Did you say past? Oh, past.
Past. Oh my God, just 3 minutes. I would talk to my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Boyle. That's what I would talk to. I loved her. I really did. I did. Okay.
Name one of your favorite moments with your kids. Just one.
Oh, I love when we sit around the table, all of us, and we can't fit, but we all sit around the table and laugh and be talking about.
Hard.
Yeah. How can you tell?
Okay. I mean, I remember the days. What age would you choose to be for the rest of your life and why?
Oh, I'm gonna say 46.
Why?
It's the best year of my life.
Baby. All right. That is our time. So did you get any of the questions that you prepared for?
No. I mean, no. I filled some out and I was trying to no. Heck no.
Did you write answers down? Please tell me you did.
I did. God. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd.
She wrote answers. Oh, please bring. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. No,
I was trying to be prepared.
Do you want me to put the answers in the comment section for you?
Yeah,
I'm joking.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want me to publicize anything, I got you, boo. I got you. We're going to have an episode where we just read down the question. We're going to read the questions and listen to Lardina's written answers.
I was prepared, y'all. I was prepared.
I love a prepared guest. I appreciate it. And baby, you show respect to me and my time. Well,
I didn't see. That's why we like each other. See?
it's exactly why we like each other. I probably would have done the same. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to show up today and just open your heart. Like you, oh girl. I've already kind of thanked you for sharing your story, but thank you for being who you are. Thank you for representing mamas out there who maybe not doing it right per se, but you're doing it.
Yeah.
And you're here to tell your story to help another mother. So I appreciate you. I know our listeners appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. At this time, I want to give you an opportunity to share any words of wisdom or advice that you want to share with mothers, papas, anybody who is inheriting children, anybody who is raising a child. So I'm going to give you the floor back.
My wisdom would be to work your process. Don't try to be like everybody else. Work your process, and please include God. That's all I got. Work your process.
I like it. That's amazing. Amazing advice. All right. So there you have it. My last questions before you go. Is parenting challenging?
Absolutely.
But are they still standing?
Who, the kids? Yes, they are.
Do you sometimes still stand?
I'm still standing. I tell my kids all the time, but did you die?
Right. That's what I say. So what do you want to proudly shout to the listeners on the mountaintop?
Loudly, this mama is nailing it. Yes.
I love it. If you want to connect to this nailing it mama Lardina, you can find her links in the comments below. But please remember to follow her blog because she is a writer, y'all. She's putting out art out there, baby. Okay. You can also find her blog on her business and church websites, which will also be in the comments below. I guess it's not really below, but wherever you click. So if you like this episode and you want to hear more personal parenting stories, subscribe to my social media, Nailed It Motherhood Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. And I have been saying my TikTok wrong, although I do not use it much. I'm trying to do better. You can find TikTok at Nailed It Motherhood Pod. And don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform. You can also be a guest on the podcast by completing a guest application. The link is in the bio. We welcome your questions, comments, and ideas, and we certainly hope to keep the conversation going. Don't forget to check out www.nailedherhood.com. Woo! Until next time, keep on doing what it is that you do. Smooches!
Bye, y'all.